So, hello, this is Trey Parker. okay. This is Trey.
And this is Matt.
And
as we sound.
we get to do commentary for our movie that we made 10 years ago. And honestly, I mean, I don't know about you, Matt, but I have not seen this movie probably since we made it.
I watched the first 15 minutes a couple of years ago, and I was really drunk on TV. I came home and I watched it. About the first 15 minutes. That was it.
It's pretty crazy because, you know, obviously we've done 10 years of South Park since this movie came out, and it's changed and evolved quite a bit. And
look how shitty those shots are.
So shitty. I mean, it's funny because I kind of, you know, we used to rip on George Lucas and Steven Spielberg for like changing their stuff, you know, like changing E.T. and Star Wars, and I kind of understand now where they come from. Like it's hard for me to watch this and be like, oh, well, let's just reanimate that real quick and make it look nicer and better. But obviously that would be bad because then it's not what it was.
It is. Look how junky the animation is.
Yeah, it's pretty hard for me to look at.
I think that we watched this movie, we went to the premiere and we told everyone we weren't going to watch, and then we stood out in the lobby, and then we snuck in and watched it.
Yeah.
I think at the back, and that's the last time I've seen this movie.
Because this was 99, right?
It was 99. It came out August 99, I think.
What happened was, I mean, really, this movie came out, we had done season 1 of South Park, which just did great, and everyone loved it, and, I mean, obviously not everyone loved it, but...
enough people loved it.
But enough people loved it. And then we went through season 2, and everyone said, oh, now it sucks, and, you know, it's lost all its... Which it really basically did, because season 2 was really pretty bad.
Season 2 was definitely our sophomore slump.
Yeah. We just kind of listened to a lot of people telling us, okay, well, now you've had this big success, now go do, you know, real quick while you can, go out and get a bunch of other deals and do a bunch of other things.
So we did basketball.
Yeah, so we did all this other stuff. And we kind of like...
Basketball in the South Park. We did an album, I think.
Yeah,
we did before or after
the
this?
Chef Fade Out. No, this was like during right this time. It was before the movie, I think. Yeah, it was before the movie. But anyway, we were just, you know, spreading ourselves way too thin and doing what we thought was normal, which is, you know, okay, well, now you've got a successful show. Now you let other people kind of, you come and oversee it, but you let other people write it and direct it and all that stuff, which is what, you know, most people do. But we after doing that for a season, we realized we didn't want to do that. And so we came back and really, you know, started doing everything with the show again. But what happened was this movie happened after that second year when everyone was just like, it was basically over, and we even thought we thought South Park was done. I mean, we're like, okay, well, we had our run. We really thought we were going to get the 6 and that would be it. So we thought, oh, we lasted 2 years. That's pretty good. And we're like, well, we're going to make this movie. And all the press that we were reading that was coming out was basically like, ugh, a South Park movie. Like that's so over now.
It was definitely at the low point of South Park when everyone was just kind of like, well, that was fun. That was a fad. And now there's a movie coming out, which, by the way, I think like all the time when I see a movie version of a TV show, yeah. I'm like, oh, Jesus, the movie version of it. Yeah. And so I totally remember we were working through the spring and summer of 99, I guess it was. And there was a real swan song feeling to the whole thing. There was a real sense of like, well, we came out to L.A., we got a TV show on the air, we made it, we were on the cover of Rolling Stone, and now we're going to do this movie, and it's just our big, you know, middle finger to I don't know to even who, like why we were so mad. I think we were mad mostly at like the you know, at the MPAA we'd had troubles with on Orgasmo with, and we, you know, and then I think we believed, even though it's not really true, that there was a lot of you know, there was all this big myth about South Park that there's all of these Christian groups coming down on us and everyone's trying to shut us down when we were doing the TV show in the beginning, right? But that wasn't really true. No, everyone just wanted us to do more of it and give us more money to do it. But at a certain point, you kind of, you know, it's important I think when you do a movie, and we've done it kind of on both movies we've done, and it's kind of why actors and directors always sound so fucking full of themselves and stuff, is that you have to believe you're on a mission, I think, because it's such hard work. And you know what I mean? And when you're in the middle of it, you can't see the end of it. And you just have to think like, and if you don't, you're just going to end up like a shitty, like, you know, I don't know, some shitty like Big Daddy comedy or something like that. But you basically have to get you kind of have to get a little bit crazy. You have to kind of get obsessed and crazy. And I think we were like, okay, Swan Song, we're going out with a bang. We're going to put it all in this movie. Yeah. It's going to be a big fuck you to the MPAA. It's going to be a big fuck you to everybody. Yeah. Fuck everybody.
It was just
more, I think that helped us,
though.
That's what I'm saying. I think it helped us.
No, it did, because we didn't. And we also, there was a sense, I mean, we totally put a lot into this, but there was also this attitude of like, we don't care. Like, our careers are over, the show is over, so we don't give a fuck what we do in this thing. And it wasn't like we don't care about that. We cared about the movie, but we're like, we're gonna do what we want to do, and we don't care what bridges we burn.
Yeah.
And we don't care. And
we really were that way. It makes us sound cooler than we are, but we really were that way. It's almost to a fault at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember. So another. Yeah. I totally remember. And the like I remember. Yeah, I remember the summer movie previews would come out. Those big things in newspapers, or
Entertainment Weekly was.
Entertainment Weekly always has it, and it like has like the biggest movie. Obviously, that year was the new Star Wars movie. The next biggest movie, so that got all the press. The first of the new prequels was coming out, and then the other big movie that came out that summer was Austin Powers 2, which had a huge marketing campaign. Remember all the Heineken and I mean, we were really in tune with that because like we're like, oh, what other movies are coming out this summer, and that was getting a huge amount of stuff. And then it would be like, okay, here's the movies that are coming out this summer, and then here's the other ones, the best of the other ones, and it's like a little sentences about each one, and then it was down to like, and also, and at the end of the summer movie preview with like, documentaries from Iran and like independent films, like, some weird independent films that no one had ever heard of. It was a South Park movie, and it would just say "ugh" or like, "Do we really need a big 90-foot Cartman?" Yeah. And
but that's why we had in our heads of like, all right, well, no one's gonna really see this. It's gonna be the end of South Park, so let's just totally do it the way we want to do, and we'll leave this town with our heads held high. And like
that energy really helped us. The fact that the press was kind of against us, and then like if you go back and look at all the reviews of the movie, it was like, surprise, the South Park movie's not that bad, And we were like, it's like, why did you think it was gonna be bad? So it was definitely a heated time. Yeah, that whole time.
The first, and part of why we're sort of talking in broad strokes here, because to sit here and talk scene by scene, like we honestly don't even remember doing half of this stuff. I mean, you've got to keep in mind that we've done 150 some episodes of South Park between this movie. It's like I really don't remember making this movie very well, but I remember these, the big things, and one of those big things was, we first came up with this idea of like, okay, let's make an R-rated cartoon about an R-rated cartoon coming out, and that was really what we thought was a cool movie-worthy idea. And the first big fight we had to fight to Paramount was, of course, they wanted us to make this a PG-13 movie.
That's right, yeah.
And at first they were just saying it in meeting, and at first when we were just writing the script, they would say, okay, well, we'll talk about that later. And then they would have meetings with us where like, guys, listen, we really need to make this PG-13. And we're like, dude, the TV show is PG-13, or maybe even like we can't make something that's less than the TV show. And then they literally brought us in one time, and I won't name names, especially because I don't remember the names of the people that were there at Paramount. But they brought us in.
It was the head of marketing and another guy.
Yeah. They brought us in and they set us down, and they basically put on an infomercial for us where Matt and I sat there, and they came, and one of them came out and said, guys, we just want to tell you the difference in money that you'll make between an R-rated and a PG-rated movie. And we're like, okay.
And they literally had graphs.
Yeah, and they had graphs and like
easels.
See, a PG-13 can get into these markets and this and do that later on cable, and an R-rated could do this and that. And then the other guy at Paramount would go, hold on a second. Are you actually trying to tell me that because it can do this on cable, it'll make more money there? And he's like, that's right, Jim, or whatever his name was. And we're just
this guy was like a big guy at Paramount in a suit on the Paramount lot going, well, I didn't know you couldn't make a red band trailer.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that? And we're looking at him going, well, no, but
we don't care.
You're literally at a shill in the meeting with us.
Yeah.
Thinking we'd fall for it, but we didn't. I don't know. It was just for us. It was either an R-rated movie, or there was no reason to do it. Yeah, I mean, and plus we had come up with this. I remember when we came up with the idea, and like most things, it's like we literally came up with like half the movie in 25 seconds. We were sitting there. I remember we were at Jennifer Howell's desk, fucking around and doing nothing, like skipping work. And one of us said something like, if we do a movie, it should be about the kids trying to sneak into because we want to do an R movie. It was about the kids trying to sneak in the Terrence and Phillip movie, and it's rated R. And then the other one said, yeah, and then they go to war with Canada. It was like that. It was like seriously, like 20 seconds. Like, okay, there's the movie, and then all the hard work began. But I totally remember that we came up with most of the movie in like 20 seconds, sitting at Jennifer Howell's desk.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny to watch too, because there's so many new characters. I mean, it's weird to think that right now the movie that defines South Park doesn't even have Butters in it. Like, it's crazy.
How would you like to go see the school counselor?
How would you like to suck my balls?
As far as all
another big fight was getting it to be a musical.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a big thing because, because the first film we did back in Colorado, Cannibal the Musical, was musical. And then we did Orgasmo, which we should have made a musical, but we didn't.
Right. It was supposed to be a musical.
That was the fucking sweetest movie of all time. We made a musical. We thought about it, and then we kind of wimped out. And then, partway through this, it became, not right at the beginning, but partway through the movie, it became kind of clear, we kind of came on this idea of kind of making fun of the big Disney musicals that were kind of big at that time, the big animated Disney musicals, and parodying them and using that kind of as a template. And we'd already kind of got them to buy off from the R-rated, cartoon, and then going in and saying, and we want to make it a musical. And this is before, this other thing is, this is before the Chicagos,
right.
And there was a big revival, Dreamgirls, and now musicals are in and everything. This was when musicals were just like the kiss of death. So if you go back and look at all the marketing and we didn't tell anybody it was a musical in any press.
No, and Paramount was cutting all the trailer and like keeping the music out of it. They wouldn't say anything about the music until it was all done. Then they were really into the music, but
they got nominated for Academy Award.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, I guess that's good.
And we were lucky to be, and kind of within that, we're just by kind of luck, we were teamed up with Scott Rudin, who's a musical guy and who really knew from the beginning, we want to do songs, you want to do something musical, you got to get this guy Mark Shaman.
Yeah.
And that partnership ended up really making everything happen.
Yeah, because without Mark, the songs would have been dinky little. They probably would have been edited out eventually, actually. But,
yeah, he really made them grow into a huge. Like I remember the fart tap dance thing. A lot of that was Mark. Remember, we came in and he was like, "Hey, check this out," and he had done done this little fart tap dance thing. And so he brought this whole like Broadway legitimacy and Broadway kind of feel to that.
He took my dinky little songs and turned them into like something that sounded like a real, legitimate song.
They were amazing.
We got busted for swearing. Our mom said we can't ever see the Terrence and Phillip movie again.
Oh, that's too bad.
You should have seen Kyle when his mom showed up.
Well, it's weird. Here, like right here, there's Chef. He's long gone. He's been gone, good, literally and figuratively.
He's gone for a while.
Yeah,
he's not around anymore. I also remember, speaking of morbid subjects, that was it April that Columbine happened?
Yeah,
the Columbine massacre happened in April.
Yeah,
and so being another thing is this movie's pre 9/11. Shit like Columbine really fucked everybody up. Like that really fucked people up, and it happened in our home state. And we were kind of fucked up for a couple of days. We're like, holy shit, that's pretty crazy. And then we saw it as an opportunity to get some more time to do the movie.
We were kind of freaked out that the movie had to come out in whatever it was, a couple months.
It was we had to be done with it in 2 or 3 months.
And we're just like, oh my, we're never gonna get it. We need more time. And so we're sitting there, and we were like, traumatized by what was going on, but at the same time, we're going, okay, we can use this to our advantage. And
so I think we wrote a letter.
Don't say who, because I want to be able to say, so we wrote a letter to someone at Paramount, and the response we got was awesome because we basically wrote a letter, and it was a sincere letter because although we did have ulterior motives, it was a sincere letter of like, look, we're doing this big movie about Colorado where a bunch of violence happens, and is this really the right time? The response we got back from this person at Paramount was,
get in the fucking studio and finish your movie.
Yeah.
All right? That didn't work.
Uncle fucking face, Uncle Fucker. You're a bunny biting bastard, Uncle Fucker. I told you that we won't stop. I told you that we won't stop.
Back to you, Tom. Thanks, Midget. Shocking report. The controversy began in the small mountain town of South Park, where the local PTA...
I remember other funny stories. We just have funny stories, and they're really stories of stories, because that's all I can remember is like...
It says all a fog.
I remember the other thing that happened is we had a almost a mini mutiny because I don't remember when it was right in the last couple months that the Star Wars movie came out in May. It must have been Memorial Day probably, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it must. Yeah.
Right. So we were still heavy and like just trying to finish the movie. We had probably had 8 weeks left of production or something like that, and something like, and I don't remember the exact thing, but let's say the Star Wars movie came out on a Friday, but I don't think it did. But whatever, it came out on Friday. And it was like it was like the first showing, whatever it was. And it was like, we came in the office one day and like half the crew was going to go, remember that morning? And like half the crew was going to just go see Star Wars at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like the whole crew was going to get up and go see Star Wars. And it was this weird thing where like in geek culture, that was just this de facto national holiday. Right. It was just like, well, I don't have to be at work. The Star Wars movie's out. And we're like, what? You can't go to the Star Wars movie. We've got to finish stuff today. And they were like, no, I have to. They were like, we have to go. We have tickets. And we're like, you can't go. And it was this big
we
deal.
Almost lost the entire building.
They go in to see that, and then of course they went and saw it. Maybe the next day, and they were like, realized what a piece of shit it was. But to lose your job over that fucking movie, but...
Well, what's pretty crazy about, because we were doing this in one building. We had a building, which is actually the same building that we now do South Park in now. Yeah. We were doing the movie, and then we were doing the TV show at the same time. We had to keep the TV show going, so we were doing that in another building about 2 miles away. And we were running back and forth trying to do both, which was, it was tough. But we knew we had to keep the show going because it's pretty funny to this day, and this part might get edited out. So if we suddenly switch topics, it's because Paramount edited this part out, or maybe they'll just play some music or something. But to this day, when it's really funny how it's Matt and I we have not really made any money off of this movie. We made basically
we made our script money.
We made our script money, which we were nobodies at the time, so that wasn't much at all. And everyone thinks, oh, well, South Park movie, that's this big cultural thing. It was just, it was a big movie. It wasn't at all a big movie when it came out, but it wasn't a bad man, and it didn't do badly.
I think
and
it did $60 million domestic box
and it
office.
Cost what, like 18, 19 to make, something like that, 20-ish. But it's like, anyway. It's really funny because to this day we've really made nothing off of this movie.
Not only that, they told us something like it's still $40 or $50 million in debt.
Yeah,
it's like fucking.
Paramount Pictures. It's not Paramount. That's all Pictures.
No, that's
probably,
everybody. That's the way
it works.
That's how it works. Yeah.
TV, on the other hand, is very lucrative.
Yeah, get into TV.
And T-shirts. T-shirts are super lucrative. Get into those.
Get something you can sell T-shirts and get in a TV show.
Yeah, but don't make movies. They just don't make any money. Even when they do, they don't. But yeah,
most of the good stories we had in this too are fighting with the MPAA. Fighting with the marketing department.
We had a fight with the marketing department where Matt literally hid the negative of the movie in the trunk of his car.
No, it wasn't about the movie. It was of a trailer.
Oh, of a trailer. That's right. He hid the negative of the trailer because we hated it so much, and people blew up. And we basically
got Austin Powers. It was going to go on Austin Powers too, I think.
Yeah.
On the front of it, and we hated it. And so we took it, and I put it in the trunk of my car and went home for the weekend or something.
Because, their guys, they cut a trailer that was basically like they were cutting an Adam Sandler trailer because that's all they knew how to do. So the trailer for this movie was literally like, get ready for the Laugh-a-thon of the summer. And then they took shots from the movie and added all the, like, record scratch, and then, like, people hitting into walls and going, and it was like, oh, and it's like, they're boys and they're about to find out that R-rated movies, and it's just like one of those fucking things. And we're like, no, and we're like, you don't this is everything South Park is against. And so we cut our own trailer that was like, it was the one that I guess originally went out, but I finally went out, but it was super dramatic and really serious and made it, and that to us was the funnier joke. And it's not like anyone thought, oh, it's a drama. It's like it still worked, but their brains just didn't. The marketing people's brains just didn't work on. They just didn't if you didn't have record scratches and horns honking, they didn't understand how it could be comedy. So we're just like, no, you're not showing this trailer, and they're like, well, no, we have to. It's going today. We're like, no, you're not. And then Matt hid it in the trunk of his car, and then we
didn't really hide it. I just put it in the trunk of my car.
And then they sent letters saying, basically, we're suing you.
No, we're gonna arrest you.
Yeah,
because that's property of Paramount Pictures. Yeah. Our lawyer called and said, our lawyer is just tough and he'll stand by us no matter what. And he was like, you guys, you really need to give back that negative. Like, actually against the law. Like, they're actually gonna call the police. Yeah. It got pretty contentious. I mean, I think that at a certain point on the movie, when we were actually doing the movie, not after it came out and everyone liked it, we were doing the movie, I think that if we didn't do the voices, they would have taken us off the movie. I think we were in that territory for a while, where they were so pissed off at us. We're so uncompromised. So we were so like.
And meanwhile, all we're reading about is how no one cares about South Park anymore. So like, fuck you guys, you're nobody. And we're like, fuck you.
It's pretty funny thinking about like how rad we thought we were. We were really important. They had to kiss our ass.
It never gets any easier.
Yeah, it's like we were just noticing here how everyone's shirts is the same color as the walls. All the doctors and nurses, like
the worst fucking.
Definitely something we kind of catch now. But
so this is where Kenny goes to hell. Right after this scene when he's left alone, and this is a good example of the animation when Kenny goes to hell. We had to hire an outside place. I forget who did it.
Because we're like, let's do this rad sequence, like
3D
really
real
awesome
animation.
real animation sequence, and
So of course we couldn't do in our system and with our stuff. So we hired this out of house place, and it took them months to do it. Remember? Yeah. I mean, it took us months to give them notes. I mean, look at this stuff. So
which
like,
is hysterical. We can do this now at South Park in a night.
We could do. I mean, we could probably do this sequence in a couple of weeks here now, full thing.
Easily.
Would you think like a week maybe?
Yeah.
And they probably could too. Everyone's technology's better and everyone knows more. But like, I mean, look at it. We do this stuff like this on the show all the time.
Yeah. I mean, now this stuff, you have these kind of effects just like built into all the programs, and it's just like it's kind of like. I mean, so far everything I've seen in this sequence, we literally could do in a night here.
Yeah.
And I think. Once we got into, we were looking at storyboards and everything for the actual hell sequence when the like 3D characters are coming out and stuff, and obviously that stuff still takes a little more time, but not nearly what it used to take here.
Little boy, you're going to hell.
And this is we got James Hetfield to sing this song.
Yeah, which is pretty funny because I remember we were temping all the songs, of course, and so we played it, and then I sang it, and then. And I pretty much, I mean, I'm not a great singer, but I can pretty much sing like that guy. He's a better singer than I am, but I can kind of sound like
him. Well, he's James Hetfield, so he has his style.
And I was just sounding like him, and then I guess he heard the demo, and we're like, yeah, well, just sound kind of like that. And he's just like, I don't sound anything like that. And was like kind of pissed off that like that was my impersonation of him. But everyone else said, dude, you sound just like him. So.
He did a good job. He did all right. Les Claypool was cool enough to call him for us, basically, but he didn't want his name on it. Remember, he didn't want his name on the movie because it was a big. I think they've kind of loosened up now a little bit, but at the time, Metallica was this big thing where, like, if a Metallica member does anything outside of Metallica, their fans will go crazy.
Right.
So even though it's obviously him, you know his voice, he didn't want to be credited on the movie.
Yeah,
something like that.
Well, that and it's a really shitty song. I mean, it's basically
maybe he didn't want to be.
It's just like hell isn't good. Hell isn't good. Hell isn't good. Hell isn't good. Hell
isn't good. Hell is bad. Hell.
That's just not a very good song.
Maybe that's why he didn't want to be credited.
Yeah.
Maybe he agreed to do it, and then he heard the song, and then he was like, "Yeah, I don't think I want to do it."
And it's funny too, because what's evolved. A lot of what's evolved in South Park is, it used to be. Basically how many people you had on screen at once. It's like the more people you had, the more memory it took, the more time it took. Yeah, basically.
Like video games are, yeah.
So it was like, even back in the movie days, it's like if we wanted a crowd, we had to keep it to about 15 people. And over the years, that's changed, and now, we can have a crowd of, 1,000 people and be all right. But this song, this was actually the very last song written for the entire movie, only because...
Was it?
Yeah, because remember we had a placeholder there, and I'd written like a bunch of different things to try to figure out what this song should be. And remember, it was sort of that like something has to change or something's got to give. It was just like there was never anything like really funny about it. But we knew that there was a moment where the parents are going to sing about how this is Canada's fault and something must be done. Remember, it was just something as lame as that. Something must be done. It was like where the parents were going to take this real ominous. They were basically going to become the antagonists of the film. And so finally kind of like we hit on Blame Canada. And it was actually a song that we really literally were all there in Mark's studio and all kind of came up with together, which was cool.
Right.
And then it came once we had the Blame Canada hook, it came together really quick.
Blame Canada really became that's like the movie in a nutshell.
Yeah.
It's like that whole thing about every time something bad would happen. And Columbine was another thing that happened. When we were doing the movie we talked about before, it's like anytime anything happened, it was just about
blame whatever
blame with the show you're seeing, or blame guns, or blame this. So that was like the whole movie basically. And then that was the song that you and Mark got nominated for an Academy Award.
Yep. Which was pretty.
And then you lost to Phil Collins.
I lost to Phil Collins, which was almost worse than not being nominated at all. I would have rather just not been nominated.
Yeah, that's a real kick in the nuts.
But it was a pretty funny thing because I remember we were on a break from the show, and Matt's the one that called me and said, "Dude, congratulations!" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he said, "You got nominated for an Academy Award." And I was like, "Really?" And I was pretty surprised actually, and we both were kind of immediately like, "All right, well, what the fuck do we do?" Because like. The Academy Awards has really always been sort of everything we're against. And on the other hand, it's the fucking Academy Awards. Like, you can't not go. So we were kind of like really torn of like, what do we do? And so we knew, and so finally we were like, all right, let's go, but let's like kind of fuck with it a little bit. And so our first idea was we were gonna go in big chicken outfits.
Yeah, football player outfits too.
Yeah,
like Broncos.
we were trying, but then we were like, oh, big chicken outfits. They can probably say they won't let us in. And then finally we're like, well, if we wear dresses, they have to let us in because then they're being like sexist. We can like,
making fun of that whole thing where the focus on the dresses is actually more important than the movies.
Yeah. So. But it was one of those ideas that like just seemed in like 2 months before the Academy Awards, it was like, that's sweet, that's gonna be awesome, that's gonna be whatever. And then like day of the Academy Awards, and it's like, all right, put on a dress and go to the Academy Awards. Like,
we had dresses made because we had the
no.
really tall, big, stupid man-fitting dresses built, and which cost us a lot of money. Yeah, boy, that last day we almost chickened out. Like...
We came so close to chickening out.
I'm so glad we did that.
And then we went and. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I do remember like it was pretty fun going down the red carpet and sort of embracing it, and then getting in there, and then luckily our category was fairly soon.
It was about an hour in.
Yeah, but we're sitting now we're just sitting there in dresses, and all of a sudden it's just not as funny, and we're just feeling kind of stupid. And there was a little part of me that was just like, oh my god, if we win, we're gonna have to go up on stage in these fucking dresses. So there was a little part of me that was like slightly relieved that Phil Collins won, but
and they never shot us in the audience. They had instructions not to shoot us.
Yeah.
Even before we showed up in dresses, they were supposed to not ever shoot us in the audience.
Which is
pretty
smart,
great.
really.
It was pretty great.
And yeah, oddly enough, we've never been invited back or anything. And in fact, I think that now that I was nominated, I'm supposed to be able to vote or something, aren't I? And they don't send me anything.
No,
they're not fans.
I don't think they like us
over there
much.
At the Academy Awards.
So somehow the MPA and the Academy Awards, we came out on the wrong side of both of them.
Yeah.
Like, look how shitty that shot is.
It's horrible.
Like, that's not a fucking movie.
Which is kind of, that was the rad part too. Was like, here's a movie. It's this.
But it's also some of the stuff is like the way it's framed is kind of
everything's
shitty.
horrible.
Like, what
yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Look at how that's framed. Like, yeah, it just doesn't.
Why did you frame it?
Although this is, we're looking at a 4:3 monitor, so this isn't. Really
but no, it's some of the frame. I actually watched like the Blame Canada in 16:9, and it's like that's framed wrong.
Right.
Like that's not framed right.
Well, it's just like season 1 through 5, basically. It's all framed wrong too. It's not that much better now. There's still shit that's framed wrong.
We did on-the-job training.
Yeah. We've gotten just a little bit better at everything over 10 freaking years, but. Yeah, like look, that's our big assembly. Like now in an average show, if there's an assembly, there's 300 kids sitting there. But this was about all we could do at the time.
The other thing we did with this movie, there was definitely a sense of it. You don't get it too much. I think we did a pretty good job, but you see it a lot with movies that are made from TV shows or something. Some kind of that existed before. Is like we really felt the need. Like you had to fit. Chef had to be in the. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Mackie had to be in there.
Right.
And Garrison had to be in there. And that it becomes really hard to. I mean, now if we did another South Park movie, we would have to leave out characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Because now we have so many.
Yeah.
You saw The Simpsons tried to do that with the Simpsons movie, and that's why they put a dome over it to try to trap everyone in there so that you got to involve every character, but it's just impossible to.
You just can't have a movie with that many characters and have it really
have it work. Yeah. And so I think we did all right, but it's really a movie should be about one person really.
Right.
Or one group of people, and so like you see, we're like, oh, we have to work in Chef, and we have to work in this, and we have to work in that, and Terrence and Phil, of course, because they're the best.
Yeah.
Fight us, because we won't tolerate their potty mouths. Well, if it is war they want, then war they shall have.
Dude, this is fucking weak. How could things be any worse?
So we could talk a little bit about that. This was definitely the weirdest part. This was the hardest sell to anyone, including ourselves. When we're like, and then we'll have this whole thing with Saddam Hussein and Satan, and I don't even know. I can't remember why we did this, but
we came up with it as with a bit. I remember we came up with the Saddam and Satan thing was on this set of Basketball.
Really?
Yeah, but it was just a bit. It was like the Saddam and Satan, with Satan being like this scorned.
But was there a thing with Saddam? At one of the shows where Satan is at the end? I mean, we must have done a show, right, where Saddam ends up in the hands of Satan or something like that. Because then we're like, okay, now he's down there in hell with Satan, now what?
Yeah.
Because at the time, what's funny
Terrence and Phillips show.
Mind you, this is 10 years ago. Saddam Hussein was not even dead when this movie came out. It made no sense.
Well, because the end of our Terrence and Phillips show,
he goes to hell?
He was dead, right?
He was dead. But then I thought we did another little thing and showed him that he was with Satan or something. I don't remember. Or that he was.
I can't remember the timeline.
So long ago, but
Yeah, so everyone's like, why do you do this big Satan fucking
why does he talk like that?
storyline?
Why does he? why does Saddam talk
Why
like
is he
that?
gay?
Why is he gay?
Why is he dead?
Doesn't make any sense.
That's what's good about it.
Yeah.
It just kind of doesn't make any sense from start to finish.
Yeah.
Being such a chicken shit and stand up to your mother.
So this was this is really the only sort of reused song that we did was Kyle's Mom's a Bitch, which was originally from the Mr. Hanky episode.
It's a showstopper, though.
Yeah,
Everyone
we always knew this was going to go in somehow.
Hey, what's going on over there?
basically every song in the movie pushes the plot forward. The only one you can kind of make a case maybe kind of doesn't is It's Easy MK.
Yeah, that you don't need that song.
That song could come out. Every other song you absolutely need it, or like in this song you need this.
Right, because something happens from this song.
and then she sees him sing this and
and he gets
pissed
a
off.
V-chip put in him.
Right, he gets a V-chip put in him.
And
In fact, the V-chip, I remember the V-chip was inspired by, I have a dog that I got right around this time. I got a dog, I probably had like a 2-year-old dog at this time, and Mr. Yes, and he had a total barking problem. So
oh yeah, I remember that thing.
I put you put these he had a really bad barking problem. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I would totally raise a dog differently now. But at the time, I got him one of those, it was a little shock collar you put around this thing, and it had a little buzzer thing, and it had a little battery, and it shocked him when he barked, right? And it was pretty fucking cruel, actually. But I was like, okay, well, if it'll work a couple times, and then he'll stop, and then he'll learn, and it'll be good. And so what he did, I stuck it on Mr. Yes, and he barked, and it shocked him, and then he started going, howling in pain, and it shocked him more. And he's just fucking freaked out and started running around screaming, and then kept chopping him. So it's and he ran, as fast as he could. So it's me and my friend running after him trying to get that. And that was I think I was telling a story, we were talking about that idea with, obviously, Cartman. I think the feedback loop that would get started, with Cartman if you put the bad word thing on him. Because that's what V-chip collar was inspired by. And they still sell those stupid things. How crappy this is.
Yeah, it's all pretty crappy. But we're not going to go back and fix it. George and Steven, we're not going to go back and fix it. So we just cut there because we actually have really run out of things to talk about in 30 minutes. Because
me and Trey don't have a whole lot to say to each other about.
Well, it's pretty funny because it's Matt and I. Matt and I are sitting here in a room talking about things, A, that happened 10 years ago, and B, that we're like an old married couple.
We both know.
I know that. I know.
So that's why our stories sound like we're kind of underselling. So anyway, we brought in, through the magic of audio editing, we've cut and we brought in Butters, Eric.
Hi.
The real Butters.
Hey.
This is Eric Stough, who's the current animation director of South Park, and also the only animation director of South Park we've ever had. So he was
actually that's not true because now Ryan Quincy is the animation director of South
true.
Park, and I'm now a producer.
Eric's
really?
the producer.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations! I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
thanks, Trey.
But we'll always think about you.
Yeah.
But anyway, Eric worked on the film.
Was the animation director on the film? You were that, right?
I was the animation director on the film. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you have any funny stories or remember anything that we could talk about?
Remember what happened 10 years ago?
You had this conversation?
I remember. Did you guys already talk about the building that we did this in? Is the building that we currently are doing South Park?
Yeah, we already talked about that.
Okay,
Try again.
Not
no,
going good.
That's really.
This experiment is failing. Something else?
I remember we had an awesome Halloween party for the movie. It was really, really cool, and everyone was really creative with their costumes. And the current animation director now, he did this great costume of Mayor McCheese, and he did it in a foam costume, and it was really, really cool.
Okay, well, this movie came out in July, so
Okay.
that was
the Halloween before.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Halloween before, because you guys kept pushing off the movie.
Yeah, I guess we worked on this movie a long time.
Well, yeah.
'Cause it wasn't always
we kind
a
of worked
musical.
on it all at the end.
Right.
Did you guys ever talk about it not being a musical?
Yep,
and
right,
then
did
all of a
that.
sudden you said, okay, well.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
You know what we could talk about is when you tried to fuck us and take half the crew to Star Wars. We talked about
We
that.
talked about that, too.
So do you want to defend yourself?
I did not do that, but at the moment that was a really big thing because we had been waiting like 10 or 15 years for Star Wars to
okay.
See this. People
and then it
really
came
thought
out,
that.
but people said they were going to call in sick. I mean, people were in line the night before to go see Star Wars.
And we didn't really talk, I mean, we kind of talked about how Butters isn't even, he's in the movie, though, right? I mean,
I think he's in a background.
Because we had we had that kid that looked like that, we just hadn't named him Butters yet, I don't think, right?
Yeah, you started doing Butters when we did that 3-part episode where it was cat orgy.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
that was the first time
That was the
after.
first time I read Butters and was like, oh fuck, okay.
Because Butters, Eric Stough, was the Butters before we had a South Park character named Butters. We called him Butters. We call our animation director, now producer, Butters. And
There's
so-
Anna Wolovic. There's
we-
Anna Wolovic. She was.
Oh
our,
yeah, that's Anna.
Yeah, she was our lead technical director.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's she doing now?
She
lives in New York City.
She lives in New York City. She just came through town last week.
I thought maybe she was a producer or something.
No.
If you stick around long enough around here, we'll make you a producer.
We won't know who you are.
Does Butters not say anything in this whole movie?
Butter's not even in the movie.
I don't think you ever even did that voice until the episode after
I think
this movie.
no. I think I started doing that voice when we were doing the movie, but we never really assigned
But
it to
he,
the character. I remember
Matt did the voice to Eric Stough, like making fun of the way Eric. Because go ahead and talk, Eric. You talk just like him.
Which I don't. But originally, Matt would
Which
talk.
I do, but I try.
Okay, that's not like me.
That sounds exactly like it. Which one is which?
Yeah, I couldn't tell who was who there.
But
I don't tell you
I
that.
think didn't you call an ex-girlfriend like Buddy and Butters, and then all of a sudden you broke up with her,
You?
and then
I
all
call
of a sudden,
you Buddy and Butters.
And all of a sudden
That
I started becoming
ex-girlfriend.
called Butters.
Well, do you remember anything else about this movie, Butters?
I remember everything. I remember the production was just terrible
us
because we were
something
trying to do the
interesting.
TV show at the same time, and then we were over here doing the
Yeah,
movie.
we talked about that.
Everyone knows about that.
And everyone knows about that. Okay,
Something interesting.
something interesting. Well, did you talk about how? Never mind.
When's the last time you saw this movie?
The last time I saw this movie was probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Do you think the framing and the color palette are something that you're proud of?
No.
Being the animation director, do you find the animation, I don't know, the framing, the color choices?
Well, I think this is something interesting to talk about. Is when I did the Spirit of Christmas and the pilot with you guys, I didn't tell you guys I was colorblind. And if you watch those
that's
shows,
true.
That's true.
like Kyle's hat changes color like throughout.
we
the
found
whole
out
thing.
halfway through shooting the pilot, I think, on paper. And it was when we were making little Kyles or something. What's the colors you can't see that Eric is
greens
fucking color
and
reds?
grays. No, I'm okay with reds. Yeah, I'm alright with it. It's like greens and grays.
Greens
and
and grays,
blues,
you can't tell
we'll
the
say that.
difference between some greens and blues that are obviously different colors.
I think you started noticing when Cartman's hat started changing blue colors.
I think if you've seen the South Park movie, you'll notice it. Look at this thing.
Well, you know what though? You guys were there for the color correct of this DVD.
Yeah, we were all there.
And it was the
We
it
were
was
there
the
for every
orange.
shot. It's not like we
Try to pawn it off on Eric. Well, if everyone has liked this experiment, we could bring in other people.
Yeah, let's go bring in other people. Let's get Butters out of
Well,
here.
I'm not done yet.
No,
Wait
you're
a second.
done. You're
Because I
done.
remember we had to go
You're
into
done.
the
Let's cut
theater,
it.
and you guys
Cut
want
it,
to go to
please.
the theater. Don't cut.
Okay.
All right, we're back. We got Butters out of here, which is good. So now we brought in. See, we're actually in. As we're doing this commentary, we're starting up season 13. So we're lucky in that basically everyone's here in the building, so we can go out and just grab different people. So now we've got Adrien Beard, and Adrien is and has always been our head artist and storyboard person. And what is your title now, anyway?
I'm like
producer now.
I'm a producer now.
You're a producer
We've-
too.
oh, we've
Wow,
upped
we're just
I've joined the
like
producer
the Mexican
club.
peso in here. Just hand out
Wow, we're
producer
awesome.
credits. 6
And,
to the dollar.
so and he's also the voice of Token for the. Go ahead and say something like Token.
Hey,
Yep, that's it. We speed it up a little bit. And that's Token. Because back when we first started doing Token, Adrien was the only black guy that worked in our building.
That's right.
I think.
We didn't have to go pay someone to do the voice. So we got Adrian to do it.
Like, well, who's a black person? Let's see.
Who is our token black person? There he is.
Adrien.
Get over here. You know what's funny? Remember this? Is what it's like. Remember when we did what was the song? We sped up some song and Adrian. What was that? Remember we did
Oh,
a
a Token song.
you never
Chris-
was it the
It was a Lou
Rawls
Rawls
song.
Lou Rawls?
And Adrian can't sing, and so but we got this, 'cause Adrian does the voice of Token, and then we licensed a Lou Rawls song, and it seriously sounds exactly like Token.
If you speed up Lou Rawls, he sounds just like Token.
Speed up Lou Rawls, he sounds just like.
But anyway, I guess we should get back to the movie. But
Yeah, man, I'm getting so hot. Let's fuck.
do you remember anything about this movie? I mean, it was 10 years ago.
It was I remember we were in the same building that we're in right now.
Great.
Yeah, we
We've
talked
said
about
three
that
times
already.
now.
Butters tried to talk about that too. See, there's that. I think we've all done this. We've all done so many shows of it. It's like, what about this scene? Do we remember? It's like fucking nothing. Nothing. I remember nothing about making the scene. I know we did make it.
Did you have fun? Did you have fun doing the movie, Adrian?
Yeah, because we got a lot more time. Was
Yeah.
one thing.
And look what you did with it.
and we did this awesome. Now that we can do this in like a week, this whole movie.
Do you think it's because of the technology, or because we are all better at our jobs that we can do it so much faster?
We've gotten better because when we hire new people, they still take them forever to do this.
Right. So now we've all actually
we're
learned
just
stuff.
better. Oh, see, we were just saying it was the technology, but actually we're much
You
better.
think you're just better at your job now?
We're way better at our job. There are things that have sped us up, but there's no question.
Do you know in the hospital scene, which was like 15 minutes ago in the movie, all the doctors have the same, what they're wearing is the same color as the wall behind them? Was that your decision?
That's why I didn't get art director credit on that one. That's why I was just storyboard.
Someone not the art director. That's called being throwing people under the bus, Adrien.
If I blamed it on technology, then you guys could give technology a raise. And not me a raise.
This scene where it ended up being the Scheisse video, we tried. It was going to be blowing a horse, a bestiality video, and they said the MPAA said no, you can't do that. So we put a Scheisse video in, and they said that's better.
Yeah. And it actually, when Carmen's mom was blowing the horse, there was not like you didn't even see anything.
I think we put a little
but you
sound
didn't
in
see,
there.
and so we're like, all right, fuck you, MPA, and we actually put in the shit and all that stuff, and they're like, that's better. Okay, good. At least she's not blowing a horse.
MPAA. This is one of those scenes that they made way, way worse.
But so you were going back and forth too, right, between this and the show?
I was being called back and forth. Like when Greg had a problem, I'd go back and help.
Greg kind of remember.
Oh, that's
Greg
right.
Postma kind of took over the show.
So you were mostly working on the movie.
Yeah, but they'd call me back and forth for like. You guys did an episode with a bunch of funny little creatures. I forget the name of them.
Oh, that stupid Jackophis.
The Jackophis one.
You're responsible for that too?
Yeah.
Wow. Good job, Adrien.
What do you remember about this scene?
Do you remember anything from the movie that's interesting for our fans?
Do you remember seeing the movie?
Do you remember going to the premiere?
I do remember going to the premiere.
Was that fun for you?
I remember I was on a bus and you guys were in limos.
That's the way.
Goddamn right.
As it should be. And has that changed over? Did we get you a limo now?
Yeah, I got a limo. Like last time we went to the Emmys, I had a limo. So
Hello,
I'm a producer. I'm a producer now.
Yeah, Mr. Big Shot.
Great.
I remember this was kind of a new thing for us when we were doing. This was like one of the first times we did transparencies.
Yeah, look at how high tech that is.
Actually, yeah, I do remember like looking at the scene and being, wow, we're real cartoonists now. This is super cute now. All right, well, see, this is hard, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
It's hard. Like, we've been having to do this for like 40 minutes now.
We've been doing this over the course of 3 days.
Yeah,
and
we may sound like we've
5
been
minutes
doing
at
this
a fucking
constantly. We
time.
haven't. We go do writers' meetings, we try to come up with new shows, and then we duck in here for 10 minutes and try to talk about the South Park movie, which is pretty hard.
So we're gonna get some more people. Let's go get we'll go get somebody else. We'll be back. It'll be a surprise.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
Here's a big surprise.
Today's special guest star, actually, this is only 5 minutes later, but we went out and we got Ann Garefino. Hi. Ann was and is producer on South Park forever. Or I guess, what are you now? I don't know. You must have
I'm
been
the
promoted
executive producer.
Jesus Christ. The hell are we now?
You promoted me to executive producer
Emperor.
at season 1.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much. That's about how it went, too.
Good job.
But we're wondering, because Ann, as like everyone else we've brought in, worked on both this movie, simultaneously working on the what season was that? Like 3 or
2 or 3?
Like
Yeah.
a long
3.
time ago. So what do you remember about this movie, Ann?
Well, I made a list of things. I'm used.
That's very Ann.
See, that's
It's very
why
me.
Ann's executive producer.
Exactly.
Well, I worked last night till 11:30 at night. Maybe
Unlike
this.
you guys, I actually
But maybe you may have. Usually, I'm sitting in the other room listening to you say stuff, and I'm thinking, no, that's not how it
See,
went.
Isn't this
Right.
fun? Is
Yeah.
Now you're in the
more fun
hot
over
seat.
here?
This
Have
is
fun.
great. Did you talk about how you arrived at the title? Did you talk about what the original title was?
No, we haven't
No,
talked
we
about that
haven't
yet.
talked
We've talked about this story before, I think. It's another MPAA story where the original title was South Park All Hell Breaks Loose.
Right.
Which, by the way, is a fucking lame title.
No, but it
I'm
is
glad
what
we-
happened. It is what
It was
happens.
about hell,
I mean,
though.
that is what happens.
It
in
is
the
what
movie.
happens. Like, it makes sense. Oh, that's pretty good play on words. And the MPAA said, no hell in the title. And we said, well, what about Hellraiser and
they said,
Hell's
well, no,
Angels?
this is a cartoon.
The cartoons have a different thing, and that needs to be a G-rated title. So we said, all right, what about South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut?
Thinking
then
they
they
would
went-
get the joke.
And they would go, and they went, okay.
They went, okay, that's fine. And then apparently, Scott Rudin told us that a week later, when someone from the MPAA called and said, hey, wait, we just got it, and you can't call it that. And Scott's like, nah, too late. You approved it a week ago.
And we already printed
We already
10,000
printed
posters and
yeah.
all this shit.
So the MPAA totally screwed them.
So that's why we have a big penis double entendre in,
Yeah.
in the title, because of the MPAA. We didn't like it. They made us do it.
I'm sure you talked about how it became a musical. The first time I remember that we knew it was going to be a musical was we were doing shows in the old building. We were doing the TV show, and Trey came in with a couple of songs he wrote like the night before. He's like, what do you think of this? And he played the songs, and we all sat there, and I was like, well,
What songs were they? Do you remember?
Uncle Fucker was
Uncle
one.
Funker was one, and the other one was, I think you did a little bit of the Satan song.
I think it was this one. Yeah, the song we just saw.
Yeah, yeah. And we were like, wow, this could be a musical. And then you went and told probably Scott or the studio, and they were like, Scott was excited about it, but other people were kind of like,
yeah, we already talked about how the studio was super against
Yeah.
it.
okay, that's.
I remember Uncle Fucker. The original title was Monkey Fucker.
Oh, that's right.
It was
No,
the-
Pig Fucker.
No,
Because
the original title. Weren't you?
right, right.
Face,
But
Monkey
the big,
Fucker?
I remember it was like the big thing was because we were trying to actually go back to the short, the spirit of Christmas, and
Oh,
do
that's
things
right,
from
yeah.
that. And a big thing from that was Pig Fucker. So it was like, okay, let's do a song called Pig Fucker. And we're like, well, I already did Pig Fucker, and then we made it like we tried Monkey Funker and Donkey Fucker.
No, when we got down to
Funny
Monkey versus Uncle, and we had a real long thing about which one's funnier.
Was fucking your uncle funnier or fucking a monkey? And it was definitely Uncle was definitely the right choice.
Definitely the right choice. Yeah. Did you talk about how you stole the film at one point and put it in the trunk of your
Yeah,
car?
we already talked about that.
Okay. Did you talk about Chris Borkovic?
That's like not even barely movie related though. That was like, I mean, there's this big long in the other like part of us just being dicks to the studio basically was that they wanted to release a big music video
that's right.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
So they got Kid Rock to do Cartman's Mom's a Bitch. Kyle's Mom's a Bitch.
Kyle's Mom's a Bitch.
And
Yeah,
so
with that little
they're like, so
midget.
we're going to do a video of that. And again, we're like, no, that's against, how we roll. And so we're like, we're going to do what would Brian Boitano do, and we're going to get my friend who's a cop in Oxnard to pretend to be the singer. And they were like, no.
We did. And we did that and a Michael McDonald song.
Yeah, and then we did a Michael McDonald song, and they're just like, why
They're
are you
thinking
guys
Kid
doing
Rock
this?
and Limp Bizkit, and you guys need a big song, a big
Remember
tie-in to be
Michael
on
was
that
MTV.
was really the thing. I remember actually that was the thing was we did Eyes of a Child. That was really going to be that's what we wanted to be the video. And we wanted to make a big Michael McDonald video.
Eye on his
where he
head.
had an eye on his hand, and he was going to literally have.
We wrote the whole song with the video in mind.
Yeah.
He's going to be on the beach
Yeah.
with a big sheet blowing with the movie projected on the sheet
Yeah.
and him going to the edge of a
just because we thought like that's what Disney would do, like that's what we need to do, and
so awesome.
that's where they finally were like, no, you're not doing that, and we settled on like okay, and we were like, okay, well we're not doing Kid Rock, and they're finally like, okay, we can do this rock version of what Brian Boitano do with your cop friend, and it played on MTV for about a day and a half.
Once, I think it played one time.
And that was it.
I don't think anybody's ever seen that video.
No.
It was pretty great, though.
They should put it on this. I wonder if it's going to be on this DVD.
Maybe we can get it.
Yeah, maybe they do put it on.
I'll see if I'll
It's so
check
bad.
it out.
It's so
It's
shitty.
so shitty.
A bunch of chicken wings and stupid jokes. So stupid.
Did you talk about the time you went to the hospital when we were trying to finish the film?
Oh yeah, I thought I was having an appendicitis.
Yeah.
Because I had this just sharp pain in my stomach, and then I got there and they ran all kinds of tests, and then they're like, "You're fine." And then a few days later, I woke up I jolted awake in the middle of the night, and then I realized that I had been from stress. I'd basically been contracting my stomach muscle.
I'm working your abs too hard.
Yeah,
I
was working my
remember
abs.
you went. It was over the weekend that you had to go. You went to the doctor. We took you to the hospital. The whole thing. And then on Monday, the studio called me because they had heard you went to the hospital, and they were like, "Why didn't you call us?" And we know every major doctor in town. And I was like, "Well, he's fine. Like he's fine. We know how to get him to that. We could take Trey to the doctor, and if there's a reason to call you, we would." And Scott Rudin called, and he's like, "What's wrong with Trey?" And I was like, "He seems to be fine." He goes, "He has June 30th itis," which was the day the movie was released.
And that's totally true.
Totally true. Yeah. You got anything else, Ann?
Let's
Keep
see.
going. This is good.
This is good.
Ann should be on all of our commentaries.
Dear God. Okay, did you talk about Conan and how they wouldn't?
Oh, yeah.
They wanted a clip.
We should have talked about that when the Conan clip was on. See if we were smart. Remember, we went
yeah.
on Conan, and Conan's just in the movie, and so really
wanted a
coincidentally,
clip of it.
when we went on Conan,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Were we on Conan? 'Cause
No, we weren't on. They were
on-
calling us for a clip because they heard, and we couldn't. Paramount would not give them a clip.
Yeah,
So
but we were going on. We were going on.
Conan.
Oh, you
I
were?
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
we were going on because
That's the time they got us the helicopter ride.
yeah, we got a helicopter
Oh, oh.
ride. Yeah, because we had to get into the we flew a helicopter from JFK to Manhattan
Yeah,
because
it was awesome.
we had to because we weren't going to make the Conan
Yeah.
show or something, but we totally did.
But they couldn't get a clip. So then Conan's people went out onto the street
went
and
down
got
to
a bootleg.
went down to Canal Street and
Right.
bought a bootleg, and then because the MPAA, being the MPAA, here's another big thing about the MPAA is that the MPAA not only rates the movie if you are a studio and you work under their system, every piece of advertising material and promotional material has to be rated G.
Right.
So, which is pretty fucking hard with our movies, with anything we do. So it's hard to and it's really hard to if there's anything at fault of why parents took their kids to this movie, thinking it wasn't that bad, it's because it wasn't because of us, because we tried to tell the world that it's like this really naughty movie.
Right.
But we couldn't. They wouldn't let us cut commercials, trailers, and if you go on the Conan show, we have that shot of Conan jumping out the window or whatever. Right. We couldn't use that on the Conan show. Conan wanted to use it. We wanted to use it. The movie's coming out, but the Paramount couldn't give the permission, so they had to run down, buy a bootleg,
and show a bootleg copy of the
bootleg. So the copy they showed on the air was something they got from. It was so dumb, you know what I mean? And the same thing happened with Team America, where I think people went to it thinking it's a Muppet movie,
right?
Because we couldn't show all the good shit.
Right.
Now you can do red band trailers on the internet, which is pretty sweet. We'll do another movie someday.
Did you? I know we had Brooke Shields at the Conan thing. Did you meet Brooke Shields after that or something? Weren't you on the Tonight Show with Brooke Shields or something?
We were on the Tonight Show with Brooke Shields way before this. I think that's why she's in the movie with Terrence and Phillip.
Dave Goodman just reminded me of this story. You'll remember this when I tell you. But the reason that was, we were at a party somewhere. It was the same. It was the one where Mike DeLuca got. So we're at a party and
that doesn't mean
and Brooke Shields came up to us or me but she said, "Oh my God, I really wanted to meet you." And I said wrong. I said, and now that I have, I think you're a fucking asshole.
Like you're joking.
Like I was completing her thought. But she completely took it wrong and was basically like, "Well, now that I've met you, I think you're a fucking asshole."
Oh, no.
And she looked at me like, "Oh," and she just walked away. And I was kind of stunned, going, "Well, why did she walk away?" I was like, "Oh, she thinks I'm. Oh no." And then that was it. And the next time we saw her was like a few weeks later on the Tonight Show. And if you watch that clip, that's actually what we're talking about with Brooke. We're like, "Listen, you were at that party. I didn't mean like you were an asshole."
Well, now you've cleared that up for all time.
Yeah. There you go, Brooke Shields.
Good. There you go.
She is an asshole, though.
Oh, she's really nice. Did you talk about the first time you saw the orchestra, the symphony play Uncle Fucker?
Oh yeah, that is pretty true. Like the first experience of going into the Paramount studio and there's a full orchestra there, just like you see in those one of those big stages, and your movie's showing up on a big screen, and they're all just obviously so professional and awesome, and they're sitting there warming up and doing whatever, and it was so cool, and then we walked in and they're playing Uncle Fucker, and to see that with a live orchestra was just that was really awesome.
A 90-piece or whatever, like
right. It was really
timpanis
powerful.
and cellos and all sorts of instruments you don't know their names.
Yeah,
and also really funny because I don't think they knew they were playing. They were realizing what they were playing as they were
they're
playing.
just sight reading. They just show up that day. It's just a gig for them.
Yeah, they don't even know.
Yeah, they don't even know. I don't think a lot of them heard the words when they were just going dum 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 dum, and then they heard it afterwards.
Yeah.
Anything else, Ann?
Well, I think one of the things you should do if you are in the mood to do it, you wrote a letter to Paramount, and you said it was your favorite memo of all time.
Oh yeah, I could read that.
You should read that.
It's been on the internet though.
Well, you should still read it for the commentary. But
I have to go get it off.
Maybe
I have to get it off my wall.
Right.
We'll do that after. We'll do that after the next.
Special guest.
Do you talk about celebrity voices? How you got different people
I
to
can't
be
really
stuff?
remember.
Well, like George Clooney was the doctor.
Yeah, that was cool. He's good He's good too.
Yeah. And who'd you?
Eric Idle's in it. I mean, that's like one of our
Idle's in it.
heroes. That was pretty cool that he was in our movie.
Yeah.
And then
We'd
that's
have to get the list. No, there are other people.
I don't remember anything about it.
Mini Drivers in it.
Yeah.
Maybe we just asked people and they did it.
I'm sure you talked with Eric about how we had some other studio make Hell, which now is so easy that we could do
we did
it.
that. Yeah. Talked about that.
All right, I'm just checking. Did you talk about going to the Academy Awards? I mean,
yes, we did.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
I'm going to give a nod out to Bruce and Lyd, who are recording this, because they were in charge of the audio. And we underestimated...
we were going to bring them in here.
Oh, good. They should talk about it, but what I remember is we had the studio, right, where we made this. And we underestimated how much audio was going to have to be done. So every day or every couple of days, we'd get new sound people in, and we were putting them all over the halls. They were in every square inch of the studio.
Yeah, I remember that.
But we had one empty office in the thing, and it was Scott Rudin's office. We had to keep an office for him. He never came, except for one day he came in the morning and he left. He never came. We had this one empty office the whole time, and then we had people everywhere, like sharing space with headphones on.
People in the bathroom, but
people
Scott
in the
Rudin had a
bathroom.
nice big office.
But Scott had his office.
So will you help us? Very well. Meet me in the backyard in 5 minutes.
I
gotta
think
keep
Ann
this moving.
I think Ann did a
I
pretty
just
good
have-
job.
I have
don't
one-
think-
We didn't hear what your fans want to know how you felt about making the movie.
I wished every day that someone would fire me. It was so hard.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Let's get somebody else. All right.
No, I have to tell you one thing. The head of marketing called me the day we finished the movie, like the day after, and we were like, they had a couple of days to make prints, and we had to, we had to get ready to go to the premiere, I guess. Like, that's what we were doing. But we had like a day or two because we cut it so close. The head of marketing from Paramount called me. I was having a cup of coffee in the morning, and he goes, "You people have been the biggest pain in my ass." He said, "But you made a pretty good movie."
Well, there you go.
So that's, there you go.
Sure I do, guy. Please, just hear me out.
All right, so we've cut again, and we've started to run out of people that are in the building that worked on the movie who want to do commentary. So, so now we're just bringing in some friends who didn't work on the movie. But
I can't believe it's been 10 years since I
I
didn't
know.
work on this movie. 10 years to the day since the moment I didn't have anything to do with this movie.
So do you guys want to introduce
So
yourselves?
cool.
well, why don't you introduce them?
Vernon Chatman from
And Vernon's he's got his own very cool shows, but
He's got his own career.
He worked on South Park for a long time, but not till after the movie, right?
Yeah.
Vernon was a writer on the
2000.
show for about 5 years. Voices Towley
And then he went and did Wonder Shows
and Xavier Renegade Angel,
which are great shows.
the best show on television.
And but what Vernon's most proud of is he's the voice of Towley.
Oh, yeah. You think we could coax him out of his hole?
What would Tally say about the movie?
We might get a visitor later on.
Oh, wait, no, he's an intensive character. I can't.
yeah.
And also, we brought in our friend Bill Hader, because they happened to be in the office today because we're just sort of talking about new South Parks, what we could do. And so Bill's taken some time out from Saturday Night Live to come do commentary for us.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Flew all the way down from New York.
So now we have to fill in around 30 minutes of stuff.
Okay.
And so we've run out of, me and Trey run out of shit to talk about because we know everything and we're like an old married couple.
But
So
we
what
know
do
that
you guys
we know
have
that
to ask us, or what is your experience with this movie? How did
know
this
that-
movie change your life?
Yeah, we knew that the South Park movie was a big deal for you guys.
Well, before I saw this movie, I was homeless. And then it just all clicked about the third act. It was right during this shot.
right
yeah.
here.
I gotta get a fucking job.
Right about the time we called God a faggot.
Yeah, I was like, Eureka.
Which is actually one of the most things I'm most proud of about in this movie.
That you outed God finally?
We finally outed God.
Yeah, we
You
called
got
God
to say
faggot.
Barney's pink pussy, too.
Yeah, we did that too. I think that was a big. We did something. We cut out something where I think we called him a cocksucking faggot. Or did we leave that in?
Where is your merciful faggot now, or something
Yeah.
like that?
That was part of an MPAA fight too. For some reason, the MPAA had a
You
problem
can
with
say
that.
he's
Yeah.
a faggot, but he doesn't actually suck cock.
Right.
Yeah.
He takes it in the ass.
Yeah. He gives
He's a
hand jobs.
figurative faggot, not a literal
He gives
faggot.
little-
Did you guys go see this movie in theaters?
Yeah, I did. I saw it in Westwood the night it opened, and it was awesome. Every number got a huge applause break. People were going crazy. And the next day, I saw it again the next day. Took some friends in Burbank, and a woman came in with like 4 little kids, and I was like, oh shit. And we were just sitting there watching them, waiting, and then the minute was like, you're a pig fucker. They're like, oh, okay, we gotta go.
Big fuck.
We tried to kind of time it where, like, when people were walking out of the theater.
It was
in the
about
movie
when
was
you would.
when people would be walking out of the
Yeah.
theater in the show.
It really starts pretty wholesome, and then it just goes right to pig fucker, uncle fucker.
Oh man, it's so beautiful.
What about you, Vernon? What was your awesome
I've-
experience?
I was working on the Chris Rock show, and Chris Rock took all the writers to see it in Midtown.
Oh,
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was
And
kind of.
did he walk out after Pig
Yeah,
Fucker?
yeah, he was
That's bullshit.
enraged. He walked out when all the black people had to die.
Oh, right. Well, that was pretty far in, at least.
But all the writers, it kind of inspired the writers too much. That was the season of the Chris Rock show where Chris Rock kept fucking his uncle.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring my uncle out now. Fuck him.
When you guys saw the movie, did you think in 10 years I would be working on this show and I'll have to be on the commentary and ask Matt
That's
or
all
Trey
I
something?
thought.
Yeah, that's all I
So
was
I just
thinking of.
practiced the commentary.
Since
Yeah.
Here
As
I
you
am.
can tell,
I remember
we
I
really...
was saying this, and I remember I said this.
Do you guys think the third act holds up in retrospect?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't.
totally works.
Yeah, I don't. Actually.
Without the sound,
it.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look how
like
shitty
the
that
one
shot
on
is.
the
But I don't know
thing.
what else you would do. I mean, I think it holds up as well as a lot of movies' third acts do.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what
a
I
lot
mean?
of movies' third acts suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way better than Iron Man
this is-
third act.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You don't have like a ho ho ho.
Yeah.
Well, there's no
I'm evil.
real new thing.
Or
Yeah.
the new Batman where they have the third act, fourth act, fifth act, sixth
Yeah,
act,
yeah.
seventh
Yeah.
act that all suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. That's the part that really.
The first
man.
the first and second act of the new Batman movie are pretty good.
Were great.
It's the last 5 acts that are pretty
I thought
bad.
the first 2 acts of Iron Man were awesome, and then
Yeah.
the third act just.
Oh yeah.
Right.
We should have just done that for the third act. Just do it. It's like, okay, you've met the 4 boys, but now here's the big bad version of the 4 boys.
I'm going to kill you.
Oh no, it's big bad versions of us. We got to fight them.
I got a bigger, greener hat and a bigger, bluer hat.
It must be Act 6.
Oh, no. Act 6.
Oh, movie's about to end, guys.
He just did all the stuff Iron Man. They spent the whole movie showing how awesome it was to make all that shit, and then this guy just made a little bit bigger version.
Yeah.
And he knows how to work it perfectly.
Yeah, no, that was so you watch the guy slowly.
He has no learning curve. He's
Robert
actually
Downey
way
Jr.
better than
slowly
Robert Downey Jr.
evolves into this cool thing, and that's what's so cool about it, is watching him kind of suck at it and then get better and then get better, and then one guy goes, "I'm gonna do that," and then 10 minutes later he's
way better and in a bigger
So wait,
suit.
you've never been in that suit before? No.
I think he actually went too.
Yeah.
That was the
He
sound
does.
that
He does pick up a car and go.
Smoking a cigar.
Yeah. Jeff, can you play it a little bit bigger?
We could just talk about Iron Man and Batman the whole time.
We just did.
This is awesome.
Did you guys talk about the Oscars yet?
About going to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We did a little bit, yeah. We did, actually. We talked about the whole thing.
Yeah.
We already talked about that.
What made you choose that color?
We didn't talk about
red.
that.
We did talk about Jennifer Lopez. We saw you at the Vanity Fair party.
Yeah,
Pushed
and
you, right?
all she did was push me.
No.
And not like in a oh you kind of way, but in a like fuck, in an honest like fuck you kind of way.
Holy shit.
Because it wasn't. But you know what? I don't think it was the it was from the
ass.
Jennifer Lopez episode of South
Yeah.
Park.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
she had good reason to shove either one of
Yeah,
us, for sure.
because we heard, and this is pretty great. We've heard it twice now from 2 different sources, that there was some movie that she was shooting at the time, and that like techies and PAs and stuff like that, whenever she walked by, would under their breath be like, "I like tacos." And then
why that
she
would make her
just
mad.
get
Yeah,
furious.
what's
Yeah,
that
push you. I do like tacos and burritos, by the way.
We should apologize. We should send her some tacos and burritos.
Yeah, we should.
We
loves them.
went to some party where we saw Gwyneth Paltrow too, and she was looking at us kind of mean.
Yeah,
or
she didn't
or
show you, though.
seductively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think that was
I think that's
seductive.
just,
I think it was
her face.
It was a seductive. It was just her mean face.
It's just her face. She's like,
The
"You
thing
guys
was
are
is that after this movie came out, we were, then we were kind of really invited to all the Hollywood stuff. Like we were able to go to the parties and stuff like that. And even for a couple years after this, we still got invited to the Academy Awards party. It wasn't until Team America that we literally do not get invited to anything.
We went to the Vanity Fair party, I think, right after Team America. I think that year
That's
or
right.
something. And we stood in the middle of the room, and seriously, no one would fucking talk to us.
So, but after
Like,
this
seriously,
movie came
no
out,
one would talk to us. And we
Oh.
did know people. Hey, remember I talked to him? Okay,
Yeah.
won't talk to us. Oh, look it. And no one talked to us.
once this movie came out, you got to fart on a higher class of celebrities.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's
I should have
true.
used it to do that, but I mean, we've just literally burned every. I mean, even people that we were like kind of really good and chummy with, like Clooney, like he kind of doesn't like us.
fag
You know,
now, huh?
yeah, he's like,
Oh,
oh, I
cool.
see. Okay, I'm a fag. All right.
Smuggy fag.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm a
fuck you.
So it's like,
I get it.
Well, I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
Of course you are, Smug.
Smuggy fag.
Smuggy fag. Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's
we
hard to
definitely-
find new bridges to burn.
Yeah, I know.
We gotta move to a new country.
Yeah.
To burn some more bridges. But
We just got Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, Brett, burn Jeff and Bo
let's
Bridges.
burn that bridge.
we definitely because of this
Burn Jeff Bridges.
because of the the good thing about this movie, that was the good memory of doing this movie, was it had such low expectations.
I forgot about that shot.
Yeah,
I forgot about the
Little
penis, the
tan
full frontal
line.
nudity
Little tan line.
shot.
Is because everyone, because what we talked about before, way like 65 minutes ago and 4 days ago on this commentary, when we talked about how expectations were so low for this, because everyone was like, fuck that movie, and no one wants to see a South Park movie. Then when it came out, it wasn't a total piece of shit. People were stoked. And so like we got, like before the Oscars, we went to like the LA Film Critics and New York Film Critics. Like we went on the little awards circuit that year, you know? So it's kind of like, we thought that's what happened with every movie you did.
Right.
And then we did
Right.
Team America, and we got no awards. And everyone totally, it was like, oh, you didn't hate us now. Now do you hate us?
but isn't the respectability more uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, there was,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little weird, actually.
Yeah.
It was a little weird. It was like, but,
Especially a couple years ago when all the Peabodys and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
That made
it
you
does.
feel-
No, I mean, it's not. It's nice, of course, to be, but it is. Yeah, you definitely.
no, but see, an award
We
like
write a-
that, where somebody calls you out of the blue and say, here's this really prestigious award, and we're just going to give it to you, that's okay. I mean, that's not, that's it's when they go, hey, do you want to
work at it.
No. If we work at it, then we're gay. Yeah, that's lame. No. But if you have to go and wait in an audience and find out if you won and then lose, that's not fucking cool. I'll fuck those awards. Then you definitely don't want to go that.
And that's what we definitely had the attitude, because we got nominated for an Emmy so many times and lost to The Simpsons for so many years that, of course, we stopped going. And then when we stopped going, we started winning. Yeah. And so we've actually never been there when we
told them we would go this year.
But we were definitely at the point, because we didn't win an Emmy until, 3-4 years ago. And so
we've only been to two things, the Emmy and the Oscars, where we sat in the audience and the winner is not you.
Yeah, Phil Collins.
All right,
Phil Collins.
Let's go.
Phil Collins and Simpsons. Goodbye.
South Park guys, leave.
Not you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
That's a kick in the balls, especially.
Yeah.
Then you're stuck 5 seats in, 3 rows in, clapping, going, great, that's great, great, Phil Collins.
Look,
awesome.
The camera's on me. Oh, good.
I'm a good loser.
I have to smile for Phil Collins.
Yay. Look at little Phil Collins.
It was also a bummer too, because for some reason that Academy Awards, they decided that instead of doing each song, they were going to do a medley of the nominated songs.
Right.
Like the one fucking year I get nominated for an Academy, it's like, oh, we're just going to do a medley this time. I was like, fuck you, that's bullshit. And they've never done it that way since either.
Who performed it?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams did it, yeah. Because Mark Shaman was friends with him. And he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
I think it's the definitive version.
Oh, yeah, it is the definitive
It's the version I have on my iPod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people like the Williams version.
45 seconds long.
When Phil Collins won, too, we heard and we saw Paul Thomas Anderson stand up and yell no.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he went, no!
Oh, I think it was
because he really wanted...
Amy Mann was nominated for Magnolia. Was it Magnolia?
Right. Yeah, Magnolia.
I like Paul Thomas Anderson 10 times better.
I know.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there in dresses thinking we're fucking punk rockers. He fucking stands up and is like, no!
You're like, whoa, that guy's really crazy.
That guy's cool.
Hey, dude, be cool. Hey, this is the Oscars.
Hey, have some respect, man.
In a dress.
Don't look down my dress either.
It was definitely people were in. I mean, obviously two camps when we went with the Oscars, and people were either psyched or fucking pissed off at us. You know what I mean? It was no like, oh look at that, they have dresses on. It was just like.
Did you have anybody come up to you?
Gloria Estefan was just. She was burning his fucking crusties the whole time. It was like her little media line going down the thing. Garth Brooks wasn't really happy either. No, he wasn't.
But
happy.
you know who was super cool? Remember who was super cool?
Yeah,
his alter ego,
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine
Was just like put his arms around us. He's like, "That's the coolest fucking thing. Let's take a bunch of pictures." We took a bunch of pictures.
To be honest, he thought you were really late.
Yeah, that's true.
He did spend 3 weeks with him.
He was just blindingly drunk.
He
and
had
thought
3
we were
gallons of
beautiful.
mint gimlet before he showed up.
But it turned into a beautiful relationship.
Yeah,
brief
it's
but bitter affair.
There's no place to hide. Just that was. I'm glad we did that though.
Yeah.
There's another. I would like to talk to. I never have, but when we went, because we brought suits with us. Remember, because we were basically like, well, there'll be the time we're gonna want to get out.
Right.
There's a joke, and then it's just like okay.
30 seconds.
Right.
Like
At 3 a.m. we might want to get out of the
Guys are still in
dresses.
the dress.
So we brought suits to go out to the parties in, and we went down to the bathroom in wherever the auditorium was, and we changed really quick. And Spike Jonze took pictures of us. Like changing, not our naked bodies, but
right,
not X-rated, but
right.
And I'd love to get those pictures. Like,
how did he know that he just knew you guys were going down there?
I think he just happened to be in the bathroom.
He was hanging out in the bathroom with a camera.
Yeah.
I wonder what else awesome
That's
pictures
weird.
he has on that roll.
This whole battle scene that's been going, I've just been catching glimpses at like all this stuff and everything. Like this for us was like super hardcore animation. Like this was like, wow, a big action scene. Like we spent a long time on this.
It's all rotoscope, right?
Yeah, rotoscoping it.
Look how fucking shitty it looks.
Nothing.
Wow, camera shake.
I do remember seeing the theater though, and like the sound design and stuff like when Kenny Goes to Hell, I thought was really cool.
Right.
Like whoa, like it was a dimension of the
And
show
that was
you'd
all
never
Michael
seen.
Winslow.
Yeah, he just came in.
Just one take.
Just one take did it. All with his mouth.
Is this some people gonna die? Jar Jar Binks.
Oh yeah.
People gonna die. Some people gonna die.
Yeah,
This is Operation Get
that was,
Behind
I
the
think,
Darkies.
This is
that was
Operation
the
Chris
last.
Rock
Yeah,
walks
right
out
there.
of the theater.
Yeah, right there.
That was remember that was the last shot we put into the movie. We did that very last minute.
Oh,
we
because
Jar Jar
the
Binks,
trailer?
Yeah,
Right.
we saw the trailer.
Like,
And
what
then
the
and we
fuck
didn't
is that
we did
thing?
actually it wasn't on seeing the trailer. It was because the movie had come out, the Star Wars movie had come out, and we were in post on this, and then we couldn't even bring ourselves to see the new Star Wars at the time. We didn't even go see it, but everyone was telling us about Jar Jar, and so then we put it in there.
So you'll rip on something without seeing it.
Absolutely.
God.
Absolutely.
Oh God, that's the best way to rip on something.
Yeah. By hearsay.
I hate to have to back something up with knowledge.
What if I love it?
Yeah.
What if I love Jar Jar?
Then we'll lose that joke. I'd rather keep the joke and be totally wrong.
Hate is so much easier.
That's so stupid.
Look at climbing up the wall. There.
Crap is. We don't have that shot, and people wonder how he got up the wall.
It was originally a 20-minute scene of how I got it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, you didn't know Kyle's a gecko.
Yeah.
These little sticky things on it.
Oh, my dad really likes the Love Resistance song. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was my big, because I'm a big sucker for Les Mis, so that was, I wanted to do a Les Mis thing.
He actually played it once, like, just go here, real quick, guys, listen to this. And like went to that song.
Did you sing that?
No.
Well, it's multi-party.
Well, no.
But the real Jean Valjean?
No. That's a
that's a Broadway guy.
Really
Oh,
famous
really?
Broadway singer that we're supposed to know the name of, and I don't.
Yeah.
Every time
Oh,
somebody.
really?
No idea.
Last
I
time I
always
watched a movie, I was
assume
like,
you guys
how
are
did Trey
doing
do that?
everything. I assume you guys are singing everything.
Most of the time,
Most of
but
the
then
time.
that was just such a, we wanted to have that, like, that.
I think
really,
what happened, remember Rudin got a guy, because I was singing it and it just sounded so much like the
Stan
other boys
or-
or whatever that it was like, all right, let's have
we
it sound a
needed
little
we needed to
different.
set it apart. But it's some really big, awesome singer that if you look it up on the credits and then look it up on the internet, you'll be impressed that we got him.
Kanye West.
Kanye West.
It's Kanye West.
Yeah, what's
singing
that?
that part.
We got this
got
voice
that
of a
guy.
generation.
We got a really good guy. Voice of the past generation.
Yeah.
Future generation
Go
voice.
off and blame everybody else. But I'm the one to blame. Deal with me.
See how hard this is?
See, it's fucking hard,
this
huh?
is
And then you
fun.
start
This was
kind of
only like
watching the
15
movie.
minutes.
And then you start kind of watching the movie and you kind of zone out.
Well,
and
especially now, because I don't even really remember what's going on here. But
I think they're saying. I think that basically the boys are giving one speech to make everything reset.
Yeah, this is good.
That's pretty funny.
Wow.
I remember in this shot, we really wanted the blood to fall upon the snow.
And to trickle into your heart.
And here comes
directly.
Satan. Look how awesome those special effects are. Holy shit.
There we go. That's some good animation.
Here's some demons.
Awesome.
That's
like
hell
the,
breaking loose.
It's like Ghost.
Yeah.
Now begins 2
Wow.
billion years of darkness.
See, that stuff in the theater looked really cool. I thought it really did. I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
The hell stuff is awesome.
Well,
I
but
did.
it's
The hell
also-
stuff was so cool.
But it was also back then. I mean, there wasn't a lot of the the crappy animation
Right.
show. There's so many crappy
Right.
animated shows now
Right.
that are
Right.
that look better. Like even our own that look so much better now. That's why it looks just crappier now.
Yeah, a lot of shows now use the old real fire trick.
Right.
Shitty
Yeah,
animation,
yeah.
real fire.
Yeah, that was yeah.
No, I mean, when we did the movie, this looked way, way, way better than the show.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, we were like, wow, this is the movie version. This has got to be good, guys.
That's real fire.
This is how all movies were back
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
1999.
It was like $6.
Yeah, Cartman, do it.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, I remember this was just like that. We were like, oh, look at that. We did a rack focus.
Oh, there's the big Matrix shot. This was a big money shot.
Bullet time. over
Yeah.
Is this pre-made?
Yeah, that was cool.
They stole the shot from you.
Yeah, they
did,
stole the
did.
shot from us.
Fucking Wachowskis.
Yeah, here it goes. See? Oh my god.
Wow, I don't even remember. That actually looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one looks pretty cool.
Hey, come on.
I mean, that looks really cool.
It's just like, but why?
Just a little dirt on him.
Blink, blink.
Yeah,
that.
that's our shot. That took about a year to animate. Wow. This movie's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
because he's got the V chip, so he's
Yeah.
swearing up a story. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's
a good
shooting
idea
at it.
actually.
Yeah.
That's not a.
You
bad
didn't remember that?
No, every
Dude, I'm telling you, I do
basic.
not remember this fucking movie.
I'm telling you, the movie's really good, man.
Yeah, you
I've
should
written
check it out.
so much shit since then. And he's dead for the 48th time in
Yeah.
South Park.
Yeah.
We're actually we're talking about right now for season 13. We're talking about bringing Saddam back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We came up with kind of a cool show idea the other day, so we might do that.
People love Saddam Hussein.
It's their favorite South Park character.
Yeah.
He started as a South Park
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And then
And then someone started.
So it's like,
That actor really had a head on him. Went to Iraq and took it over.
To go back the way it was.
But it must be ending soon, right? I think.
no,
we-
it's coming
we
up
won't-
soon.
It's really close. Because they
Yeah.
all sing
Yeah,
the
don't
Mountain
worry.
Town.
Yeah, they
song,
stay right here. Yeah, and then the whale comes up. And...
so
We had Free Willsy acting in this too.
Oh, yeah.
Is Terrence and Philip reset, or are they dead?
Everyone gets reborn, I think.
Oh yeah, everyone in the war.
And
Right.
wait, who's the voice of Kenny?
Mike Judge. Mike Judge.
Oh, that's
Yeah, we had Mike Judge do that voice.
Which just says "see you guys" or something like that.
See you guys.
It's pretty funny because if you do it, Mike Judge doing a kid voice and speeding it up sounds just like Matt and I do.
Right. Yeah.
It sounds like one of us.
I flew all the way from Austin for this.
Better than sounding like Beavis.
Yeah, totally. I'll see you guys.
I honestly
That would be great.
That'd be
Turns
great.
out Kenny is Beavis.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Twist ending.
at that Westwood screening when Kenny spoke. The kid behind me went, "Whoa!"
That's so Chris, it's so dumb.
It was like the kids were like, "Oh man."
I can't believe that's amazing. How'd they do that? Dude. How'd they make that kid who can't speak speak?
Can you speak?
Oh yeah, see they come back with flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Flowers and
it's
rainbow.
about then.
And there's
You guys
the
got
city.
Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
Everything's going back to normal. Thank God.
The great thing is, doesn't it cut through the eyes of a child too? Like right on the. Does it? When it goes
I
to
know
credits?
it's in the credits, but I don't know if that's
Is
what
it
it
last?
cuts to. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I think so.
I think it cuts to Brian Boitano, I think, first.
Because there's a little more energy, probably.
But that song, that's
Yeah,
the one with
Eyes of the
McDonald.
Child.
Yeah.
Out my hand and I still
best.
can't find you. Out my hand.
The best was having him come in and record that. He was just like
fucking perplexed.
he was basically like he was saying shit like basically like whatever for the money, man.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, he said something like "beggars can't be choosers." Like, well, thanks a lot for doing this. Yeah, thanks for doing this, man. We're really psyched. He goes, well, beggars can't be choosers.
Well, it is a cartoon.
You can pay me in food. Cut out the
Yeah.
middle, man.
Can I crash at you guys'
It's been
place?
it's been kind of lame lately. I
Would
gotta
you like
do
to
whatever
buy
I
some
can.
pressed flowers?
I got these T-shirts for you.
That was supposed
Jeez, that guy should be working.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great. He did a good job on that song.
Yeah, he did Michael McDonald real well.
Yeah, the best Michael McDonald impression.
Look at those fireworks.
And there's Free Wilsiak.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wilsiak's gonna die 7 years later.
On the moon.
I think it's gonna happen.
He just gets to fly to heaven.
This is awesome. Today's.
That's it. We fucking did it.
Wow.
Thanks, you guys, for getting us through the last 30-some minutes.
Wow. All right.
Do we have to talk through? We
ready.
don't have to talk through credits, do we?
They don't do. Do they cut? No one talks through credits, right?
This guy's an asshole. This guy's an asshole.
Yeah, actually,
jerk.
this would probably be the easiest part to talk.
Yeah, we
talk about people.
We talk about people. There's Butters. That's me. Yeah, we shouldn't talk through this.
Yeah.